Hey crew, this is an unannounced going live tutorial. Basically I've been taking a lot of pictures, so this is going to be a picture tutorial. This is the painting I'm working on currently, and somebody actually said, well, you know what, Spray, how about doing a picture tutorial and maybe a video tutorial? And I think that's great. Obviously it's not a full tutorial, as I've already done a lot of the work, but maybe you guys can pick up some tricks that I do, tips and tricks. So let's get started. This is where I've gotten so far. As you can tell, I added some mountains in the background. Now they're light colors. You want to stick with light colors, especially if you're going to give the effect that they're off in the distance. So with that being said, you want to make them very light. Now I did want to have some nice colorful background, so I added some yellow in the background and then just kind of blended it all together. I do want that sun showing on the wave, so it was very important. I did that with my spray paint tool that I use. This is what I call my spray painting brushes, and basically they're just brushes with rubber tips at the end. They don't have any bristles or anything, and I just go in here and add the highlights. Then I created some mountains, some terrain here. Added a lighthouse, which I haven't completed yet. But anyways, all right. I see we have quite a few people, so let's get started. I'm gonna be using my rubber tip tool. This is great. You can actually use a magazine sheet. If you don't have one of these, you can use a magazine sheet, and I'll do one with a magazine piece so you guys can see how that works. First of all, we're gonna use black. I'm using my brand, Spraycasso brand, spray paint. I tell you what, guys, I won't go back. I love this stuff. Magazine sheet. Just gonna tap into it. Now what you do, you come over here and you just put it down, smear it downwards, create some terrain with it. Just like that. Okay, so you can definitely use a magazine sheet to do that. I'm a little bit spoiled and I have my own tools here, so I'm going to use this, the rubber tip tool. I'm going to spray some black. What we're doing is we're going to create the terrain using a neutral color, in this case being black. Just like that. Then, once this is semi-dry, we'll go back and we'll add some highlights. Maybe create a little rock right here. Okay, I'm going to use the black, and I'm just going to cover this up here at the bottom. Tap, tap, tap. Maybe I'm just going to end it right about here. Just add a little more black. Yep, look at that. Nice. Now, I like doing this because when you blend the black with other colors, you get this nice little outline. And in this case, this is that nice little pink that we get. I'm going to add little terrain right here on the bottom. All right. What do you guys think so far, huh? It's coming along. Now the best thing that I love about these tools is how easy they are to clean. Look at that. So you don't have to worry about contamination. You just clean them, they're ready to go. I think I'm going to work a little bit on the water. So see, I have a nice little splash. Oh, cancel that. Has a nice little splash. I want some of those water ripples to start showing down, coming closer to the viewer. So let's create some water ripples. Very, very easy to do. You get a little bit of white. Handy dandy Spraycasso tool here. And look how easy it is to use. Give me a second here. Let me just gonna add a little bit of white here. we're going to start bringing that down. Now, look how easy it is to blend this together. Now you can use a little bit of clear coat. Alright. Just going to clean the tool here a little bit. And I'm going to use the end of the tool to kind of blend it with some of those colors that are below. So you'll get some of those dark blues, those light blues. You can even use your finger to help smoothen things out. Good, I like the way this is coming out. Now notice every time I do this I clean it off, especially if I don't want, I'm trying to get rid of some of this white. I know I just put it down, but I want it to blend a little bit easier with the colors below. So I'm trying to thin it out. So every time I do this, I remove some of the white and then I clean the tool. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of clear coat here on this part, and we're just going to blend that in. Okay, now I started to do some palm trees here on the side. You guys see that? Well, the way I did that is with sea sponges. Now I know a lot of people use brushes. The problem with brushes is that you can do it so many times and then the brush will start to, the little bristles will start to fall. So let's use a little bit of black and I'll show you how I created those trees in the background. You just need a little piece of sea sponge. Tap into some black. Now it's okay if it's just a silhouette layer for now. We can add colors afterwards. And let's just add, like we can add, well, I don't want to add one there. We can add one right here. I'm just using the tip of this. And there you go. I added 2 of them. The reason there was 2 of them is there was a little piece of sponge here that drew the other little stem. So hey, it worked out. Why not? Sometimes that's just the way it works. We'll add another one right here. Now it's okay if it overlaps your lighthouse there. It'll just make it more realistic. So anyways, that's how I did that. There's no need to use brushes, guys. You guys most definitely can. I try to avoid using brushes, though. Sea sponges last longer. I mean, look at this. You can create some very realistic looking grass textures. Look at that. We'll add a little bit of grass there. Happy little grass strands. A lot of people ask me if I watch Bob Ross. I haven't watched Bob Ross in a couple of years, but man, I tell you what, I love that show. It's one of the reasons why I got so involved with art and wanting to teach people how to paint. Okay, so I'm just tapping into some black. A little bit of black there. So neutral colors, guys, black and white. Black and white, neutral colors, which is meaning that you can add colors on top of that. It'll give you a nice blending effect. All these mountains were once black, like this one here. You know what? Let's do that. Let me show you how I add the colors afterwards on top of that. We're gonna do orange. So, like any good can, you have to pre-shake it and pre-spray it. We're gonna add a little bit of orange. Just a little bit of white on top of that. Handy dandy Spraycasso tool. You guys know I use this a lot. You can use a magazine sheet if you don't have one. It works just as well, except without the handle. Alright, so I'm just going to tap here on the end, right at the corners. See that? Now, this is what a lot of people have a hard time doing, and they're like, how do you do that? Well, this is how I do it. So if you guys are watching, pay close attention. There's really nothing to it, but I understand it can be a little complicated. Just going to tap here. Now then, just going to blend that into the background. Look at that. Magic. I know. Alright, we're just going to tap into this. I've asked this question, I've been asked a lot. What is this back here? This, well, you know what? It's an anti-slip. You can buy this at several different stores. I think Walmart has it. This is just anti-slip material. People use this a lot on their homes, kitchens. So I recommend you get one of those. It helps a lot. Plus, I also use it a lot to clean my tool. Yeah, so it works. Alright, so here we were able to create a nice little highlighted area on our mountain. I'm going to use a little bit of clear coat. And then I'm just going to go back a couple of times just to add a little more texture. I want this to give the viewer a lot to see. I want them to see the nicks and crevices of this rock. Look at that. Like I said, you can do this with the magazine sheet if you don't have the Spraycasso tool, or you can go to my website and get one there. So I want to also take this time to thank you guys. We had 100 kits that we manufactured and produced with spray paints, and they've all flown. So thank you guys very much. I think there might be like 3 left, I think, if anything. So if you haven't gotten a kit, go take a look at them. It comes with 12 different colors of the Spraycasso spray paint brand. Let's do, you know what I'm thinking for this last rock here on the bottom? I added some purple and pink to create that mountain in the background. So with this one, I think I'm going to use some pink. Let me spray a little bit down. Maybe that's the pink. Maybe, you know what, we can make that a little purple. We can add just a touch of blue, sky blue. Mix that up a little bit. Alright, that's good enough. Try not to get it into the other colors, because then you'll get like a brown color, and you don't want to do that. Just going to add a little bit of highlighted areas here. Now, the reason this is working really well is because, why? We're putting it in a neutral color. So it's very important you use either black or white, guys, when doing this. And then we can come back afterwards and add some highlights. So this right here will also create your midtones. What's a midtone? Well, it's not quite a highlight, but it's not a dark area either. It's in between, which is why it's called midtone. Tap, 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 tap. So for now, this will give us some color on our stone, on our rock here. And then we'll go back and add some highlights to it. We can use some yellow. We can use a little bit of white. Look at that. Do you see how that sunlight is coming through? Let me see if I can get this camera to focus a little bit. Coming through, hits this side of the rock, hits our lighthouse here, which I'll have to work on at the top of it. It blends some of this color in the background, the yellow, the white that we have there, and then it kind of comes down. You can see the detail on the water, which will give it a little more sparkly. Look at those palm trees. They came out pretty alright. There's never a mistake, guys. It's all correctable. You can always go back and fix it one way or another. In this case, I like the way it worked out. We added a little bit of highlight here by using some pink. Now we can go back and add some yellow on top of it afterwards. I think what I want to do now is add a little bit more black. And yep, you guessed it. Happy dandy sea sponge. Oh, see, my hands. That's why I'm always covered in paint. My clothes, my hands. Alright. We're going to keep adding some detail on this rock here, because I want to give the illusion that there's grass, there's plant life. This brings you closer, brings the viewer closer to like being at home. Now, you know what? Let me take a moment to see what you guys are saying. Oh, wow. We got quite a few viewers. Claudia Marcela, how you doing, cuz? Shelly, how are you? Jake, Ryan, Rebecca, Jorge, Levon, George, Pete, Colleen. Hi, guys. How's everyone doing today? Thank you guys for joining me. Let me see. How you doing, Bob? Alan, Alex, Bobby. Wow, we got a full house, man. Thank you guys. I know it was unannounced. I'm sorry. I meant to announce it earlier, but I forgot. I went to go see a movie, John Wick. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Fantastic movie, lots of action. I definitely recommend it. All right, let's work on some more grass here. Now, eventually, I want to create enough plant life around here, maybe even overlapping some of this lighthouse. Maybe just like that. Yeah, I like that. You know, just give it a fuller look. And then we'll go through and we'll add some highlights through it later on, maybe some greens. All right, I like that. I like that there. These colors back here, to me, they're a little too dark, so they stand out. They're supposed to be off in the distance, yet they still stand out very much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our yellow. Pre-spray, always pre-spray. Shake and pre-spray. All right. Now notice I have my. There's a madness. There's a logic to my madness, guys. I'll spray it over here. I don't want to get any of this yellow in any other color, because then you contaminate that color and it becomes something else. So even though it doesn't look like I'm very organized with my palette here, I am. I really am. I recommend you guys do the same when painting. Try and keep the colors separate. I'm going to add a little bit of white. This is going to be too yellow, so I'm just going to add a little bit of white. And when doing this, guys, I know I'm doing it right now because I want you guys to see the process that I do, but try not to do it when your painting is behind, because if you spray just right, this could just like splatter all over your painting. So keep that in mind. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to mix a little bit of that yellow with some of that white. And I'm going to soften up the colors that we have here on these trees in the background. Very easy to do. I'm just going to get the edges. Just get the edges, and I'm just going to rub the paint on them. Now, we can add a little bit of clear coat on top of that, and that'll just help you blend those colors better. Good. Now see, it's not so dark, it's not so black, it doesn't just kind of stand out from the background. It makes a little more yellow and white together. I'm just gonna come through here and I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Some clear coat. Now you can use the same combination of color right here, white and yellow, to add more to the water. So you can come through right here and just kind of add some highlights. Look. Very easy to do. You do want to stay kind of consistent. You don't want to add all your highlights to one area. So we're going to add some highlights here and here. Give the viewer the illusion that the sun is so bright, it's sparkling all over this water. Alright, so what are we going to do with this bottom part? You know what? That's a good question. I'm going to clean my tool. Then I'm going to mix some blue and white together. Now I don't mind that we're going to get some of that pink color here, because there's pink on our water as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue, sky blue. Oh, I'm running out of white. Alright, we're going to use our tool here, tap, tap, tap. So you can see some of that little pink on there. That's okay. It'll blend in. Just going to come over here and just add a nice little, or not, a nice little line right here. Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to do that same here. Now, on this part, I was going to make a wave. I'm not too sure if I want to do a wave now. I've been going back and forth. I was actually thinking of adding maybe a nice little rock right here. Just to kind of, maybe right here. Just to kind of even things out. I don't know. I might even just get rid of that water completely. Add a little bit more blue here on the bottom and just kind of blend it all together. So you are allowed, definitely allowed, to change your mind. However you want your world to come up. Just going to add a little more blue here on the bottom. We're going to tap into some of that blue and white combination that we did earlier. Just like this. And we're just going to add it here on top. Adding water ripples will add more realism to your painting, and you want to do that. I like the colors that I added here on the bottom, but I know it won't look very realistic unless I add some water ripples. So they are important, guys. You want to break the water up a little bit, otherwise it'll just look like a big mirror, which there's nothing wrong with that. But okay, we'll add a little bit here. I'm still undecided about this wave. I might just go eat some dinner, come back and figure it out then. See what I want to do. Alright, let me see what else is there. Oh, David Timon, how are you, bud? Hola, amigo. Yeah, it has been a while, my friend. Levon, let's see. Last time, but they... Oh, yeah, well, you know what? Practice, my friend. Practice. I wasn't always... You know, when people say, oh, you're so talented, I always say, no, if I was, I wouldn't have to practice so much. It's all a matter of practice, Levon. You know, keep working at it, man. Keep working at it. Before you know it, man, you'll surpass me. Guaranteed. Oscar, hey, what's up, cuz? How are you? Chris Pix, how you doing, my friend? Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for sharing that painting that you did with my paints, man. I really appreciate that. In case you guys didn't know, Chris Pix is one of my sponsored artists. We give him paints. He paints with them. It's awesome. It's a great deal for both of us. Talented, talented. Alright, so I'm just going to add a little bit of clear coat here. Oh, I'm running out of clear coat. Amazing what you can do with spray paint, huh? I still get a lot of people that are blown away by it, but I tell you what, I always refer them to you guys. I always tell them to go check out the Spray Paint Masters Revolution. And man, I tell you what, I'm constantly blown away. We just finished the Valentine Rattle Battle. Man, thank you guys for all your amazing support and all your submissions. We do have the winners. We haven't announced them yet. We were behind a couple of judges. But thanks to Rick Brown and Tyler Matthew and a couple others that I want to say they didn't volunteer. I called them up and I said, hey guys, we need some more judges. I'm just waiting for one last submission, and we will be posting the winners tonight. So thank you guys for that. It's always a lot of fun to do the rattle battles. I enjoy them very, very much. I'm just going to spray a little bit of blue here on the bottom. So far, so good. What do you guys think? I think we can still use some trees. I'm thinking about adding maybe a palm tree. We would use our funnel. Kind of overlap this a little bit. I don't know. We'll think about it. Let me show you how I blend. See how this part right here sticks out a lot? Well, that's because suddenly you have these nice little blended colors, and then you have a neutral color right on top. Bam, black. So what you kind of want to do when you have something like this, you kind of want to blend it. Add a little bit of white. I always use white, maybe with a touch of blue when working with water, right? We're just going to mix these two together. And we're just going to create a nice little water line at the very bottom of these. And that'll give you a nice little separation while adding waves to it at the same time. It's all in the details, guys. You can create a great painting, but if the details don't match it, it won't stand out very much. You want your paintings to stand out. You want your paintings to, you want people to take a look at a painting and say, I know who did that. I know who did that, you know. And then your name comes up. That's what you want. All right, let me see who else we have here. Oh, Chris and Tammy Ulrich. Thank you guys. Bobby Faust. Did I say that right? Faust maybe? Alex Peck. Alan Hernandez. Thank you all for watching today. Mitchell. Oh, and Michelle. All right. Michelle's a co-worker of mine. All right, we're going to add a little bit more clear coat here. We're going to mix. This is where we have our white and our yellow. So we're just going to add a few more water waves around this area, perhaps, yeah, maybe a few more here. All right. And all I'm doing is we're just mixing into, I think I need a little more white. I think this is just, yep, there we go. Okay. I'm telling you about the details that we're into the water. So we're just going to add them there. It's okay if it gets a little much like it did there. You can always use a little bit of clear coat. Use your finger and you can smoothen that out. Look at that. Blend it out. Doop. And you can use your soft tip tool. Turn that into not so bright splash of water. So see guys, it's all fixable. Everything is correctable. I know I still get a lot of emails, people saying that they messed up a painting. Unless you drop it on the ground, I think you can still fix it. So I definitely encourage you guys to practice that more. Okay, I'm going to tap here. I'm just going to create this fine little lines. Look at that. And we're going to create those up here too. And like I said, guys, this may take a little while, but it's all in the details. All right. Just kind of clean that up. See what I'm doing here? Clear it up, and then I clean it, and then I go back to it. And that's how you're able to smoothen out certain areas. This is a technique that I also use a lot too for highlights. Whenever we're creating highlights on mountains, you can add a little bit of white and then use either your fingertip or the rubber tip on your tool and blend that out. Make it look not so clear, not so white. All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it on this one, guys. I got to go get dinner. And we will continue this. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow. I usually don't like to leave the paints, sit overnight and dry. So what I recommend, if you're going to do this and you're going to wait for them to dry and maybe continue it tomorrow, add a nice thick layer of clear coat on top. Because if you don't, your painting is going to wrinkle, and it has the possibility of completely just falling off. You can wipe it off. It's bad. So I recommend, if you're going to do that, I don't like to do it very often, but you can just get some clear coat. Where did I leave my clear coat? Get some clear coat, add a nice thick layer on your painting, and then the next day you'll be able to work with very light layers on top of it. Experiment. You can actually wait a day to work on your painting if you're using canvas. That's one thing I've noticed. But all right, crew, I'm going to have to call it a night. But thank you guys for watching. Hey, Billy, welcome aboard, bud. Steve and Ryan. You guys have a good night. And we'll continue this tomorrow. I'll let you guys know what time. And we'll start from there. All right, crew. Until next time, keep those cans shaking. Thank you guys for watching.